When I found out I was pregnant, visions of a happy future filled my mind. A loving husband, adorable kids, and a wonderful family living happily ever after. Little did I know, a harsh reality awaited me. This is the story of my battle with my controlling husband. My name is Patricia, and I'm 30 years old. My husband's name is Robert, a 34-year-old office worker. We've been married for almost 2 years. Robert has a bit of a controlling streak, probably because he's older. He sets all the house rules. When we got married, he said he wanted me to be a homemaker, and I agreed. Our spending money has decreased since then, but I'm thankful he's providing for me. I've always been indecisive, so Robert's efficiency seemed perfect for me. I thought a little bit of control was a good thing. Then, one day, I felt unusually sick, feverish, and sluggish. I was in no shape to do housework, so I turned to Robert and said, "Sorry, I'm not feeling well today." He groggily sat up and asked, "Is it a cold?" "I don't think so, but I'm too weak to get up. Can you grab something quick for breakfast?" "All right, get some rest today. I have to go to work, but call your mom or dad if you need anything." It felt a bit lonely, but he was swamped at work. His advice to call my parents was probably his way of caring. My in-laws live nearby and have always been supportive. It wasn't that I couldn't move. I just felt awful, so I decided to take the day off. But my symptoms didn't go away. Normally, a day in bed would fix me up, but I wasn't getting better. Even Robert started to worry. "Patricia, maybe you should go to the doctor." "Right, I'll go tomorrow." The next day, I visited a local hospital. The test results came back. "You're pregnant." "What?" I was stunned by the news. "Pregnant? Me? I'm going to be a mom." Overwhelmed by joy and anxiety, I was at a loss for words. I decided to go home and wait for Robert to return. Hours later, I told him the news. "Guess what, Robert? I'm pregnant." "You're what?" Caught off guard, he looked stunned. "But you've been feeling sick, right? You sure it's not some kind of illness?" "No, the doctor said my symptoms were morning sickness." "Morning sickness?" As I explained, Robert furrowed his brows. Then he said something totally insensitive. "So, you're saying this isn't an illness? You were just being spoiled." "Spoiled? That's not how I see it. Morning sickness isn't an illness, but I feel awful. I'm feverish and just drained. Look, I may not be technically sick, but every woman who becomes a mom goes through morning sickness. Stop making a big deal out of it." "Are you serious?" The words from my husband were completely unexpected. I had thought he would be thrilled about my pregnancy. "Anyway, from tomorrow, take care of the house as usual." "But I've been nauseous since last night." "I don't care. It's just morning sickness. Stop using it as an excuse." No matter what I said, my husband wasn't listening and instead berated me. Morning sickness isn't a disease. I knew what carrying a new life is a burden not to be taken lightly. Most men might not understand the difficulty of pregnancy, but the harsh words from my husband were almost unbearable. I tried my best to manage the housework the next day, but my body was sluggish and nausea hit me even when I was doing nothing. Cooking meals was the hardest part. The smell of rice cooking was unbearable. "I can't take it anymore." Frequent dashes to the bathroom disrupted my cooking routine, and consequently, the quality and efficiency of my meals suffered. No matter how much I tried to explain, my husband wouldn't listen. On the contrary, when I was coughing in the toilet, he shouted from behind, "If I'm late for work because you're dragging, you'd better take responsibility." "I'm sorry, but the smell of food was making me nauseous." "I don't care," he snapped. "I'm not listening to your excuses." "Excuses?" I didn't mean to. "What if your slowness makes me late for work? Can you take responsibility for that?" My husband kept yelling, completely disregarding how I felt physically and emotionally. I felt cornered. Somehow, I managed to finish preparing breakfast, fighting off nausea. Despite this, my husband didn't touch his breakfast. "Great, now there's no time for breakfast because you were so slow. Get it together." With that, he slammed the door behind him. Why is this happening? I haven't done anything wrong. Why do I have to be treated so horribly when I'm just trying to nurture our child inside me? Frustration and emptiness mixed, and I couldn't stop the tears. This went on for about 2 weeks. One day, after confirming my husband had left for work, I lay down. Today, my nausea was worse than ever. I needed to eat something for the sake of our baby, but even drinking water made me throw up. I must have dozed off because when I woke up, it was already noon. I needed to eat and take care of the house. Just then, my phone rang. It was my husband. With a sinking feeling, I hesitantly answered. "Hello?" You took too long to answer. You weren't sleeping, were you? I'm sorry. I wasn't feeling well this morning. I was about to start on the housework. He abruptly hung up. Then a text from him arrived. Almost yelled at work, so I hung up. Patricia, are you mocking me? I felt a bottomless despair reading his furious words. My hands trembled as I held the phone. Please don't be mad. I'll do better, I replied. I'm done with you, the text read. What should I do? I needed to reply, but apologizing would only make him angrier. So what could I do? Before I could decide, another text from him arrived. The moment I read it, I dropped my phone in shock. If you can't even handle housework, abort the child. Abort our child? Everything went dark. My emotions were a mess, my breathing was erratic, my heart pounding. We were blessed with a child. I thought we'd be happy as a family, but my husband didn't even try to understand my condition. He even denied me and our unborn child. I couldn't let this go. I couldn't stay silent after being told something like this. I picked up my phone from the floor and texted him. Understood. I packed my bags, explained the situation to my parents, and asked them to pick me up. After I left, multiple texts from my husband arrived. Where are you? If you can go out, you must have been faking it. Come back now or I'll divorce you. Did this man know anything other than attacking or threatening? By this point, my love for my husband had completely cooled off. When he even called my parents' house, I told him I have no intention of coming back and blocked his number. Patricia, are you sure about this? You'll be giving birth alone, you know, my mom asked, concerned for her daughter. But my mind was already made up. It's okay. I'll protect this child. My mom gave me a complicated look but said, we'll support you in any way we can. A few days later, having cut off all communication, my husband showed up at my parents' house, bringing his own parents. Patricia, what are you thinking? Stop lazing around at your parents and come home now. As soon as he saw me, my husband started yelling. Even my father-in-law and mother-in-law joined in, blaming me. How could you abandon your duties as a wife and dump everything on our son? Are you even a homemaker? We never thought Patricia would be like this. Were you just pretending all this time? We don't need a lazy wife in this family. Abandon my duties? Dump everything on him? This is ridiculous. I've done no such thing. I took a deep breath and gave them a piece of my mind. Enough is enough. When did I ever dump anything on Robert? Abandon my duties. I've been doing everything I can while dealing with morning sickness. Why do I have to hear this? Shut up. How dare you talk back to the head of the household? That's what I've always hated about you, my husband snapped back. Once I started, I couldn't stop. When I'm suffering from morning sickness, you tell me to hurry up and make breakfast, stop slacking off on housework. I'm not your servant. Do you even know how hard morning sickness is? Learn about a pregnant woman's body, you incompetent fool. What kind of language is that to your husband? That's just it. You're nothing but a controlling husband who doesn't understand people's feelings, and I was stupid to mistake that for reliability. Who do you think provides for you then? I don't need such a life. My father-in-law and mother-in-law, who had been listening to our argument, hesitantly asked, weren't you just dumping all the housework on our son, doing nothing but lazing around every day? Exactly. Using pregnancy as an excuse to make our son do all the housework. It seemed my husband had been telling them a convenient story. I told my father-in-law and mother-in-law the truth. Yes, I've had to lie down because of severe morning sickness, but Robert told me morning sickness isn't an illness and to stop being lazy. So I've been desperately doing housework every day to the point of nearly collapsing. Father-in-law and mother-in-law's faces turned pale. Robert, what is the meaning of this? Father-in-law confronted my husband, whose body was shaking. Well, that is, even now, my husband refused to admit his fault. I had enough and decided to expose his greatest flaw. Father-in-law, mother-in-law, your son told me if I couldn't do housework, I should abort the child. What did you say? Is this true, Robert? Father-in-law and mother-in-law stared at their son, mouth agape in shock. Telling someone to abort the child is unforgivable. I've done my best in my own way. Despite that, Robert never cared about my health or our unborn child. I can't live with someone like that. The collective anger in the room turned towards my husband. In the awkward atmosphere, he nervously chuckled. Okay, I get it. I was wrong. I apologize. All right, so let's just drop it, okay? At that moment, smack, mother-in-law slapped my husband. What the hell was that for? My husband looked at his mother in surprise. Enough is enough. Do you even realize what a miracle it is to have a child? You berated Patricia while she was suffering from morning sickness, forced her to do housework, and even lied to us. How much more do you need to vilify her? Mother-in-law yelled at my husband, tears streaming down her face. The intensity left me and father-in-law speechless. Then mother-in-law turned to me to apologize. Patricia, I am so sorry. I believed that foolish son of mine and hurt you. You must have had a hard time dealing with morning sickness. I know an apology isn't enough, but I'm truly sorry. Father-in-law also deeply apologized. Patricia, let me apologize as well. Our foolish son has caused you trouble, and for that, I'm truly sorry. We'll make sure he takes responsibility. Leave the rest to us. Father-in-law then turned to my husband. We're cutting ties with you, Robert. Cutting ties? Yes. A son who can tell his wife to abort the child is not part of our family. Agree to Patricia's divorce. What? We're family. Talking about divorce and cutting ties? You must be out of your mind. Patricia's feelings won't change. Make up your mind. At his father's words, my husband was speechless. He was reluctant to sign the divorce papers, but with father-in-law and mother-in-law's help, he eventually gave in. He was utterly defeated, a shell of his former self. Later, I claimed compensation and child support through a lawyer. I've decided to give birth to our child alone. I've received several texts from my husband since. I was wrong. Please forgive me. I realize you're all I have. Please come back, but I just deleted the messages without replying. My husband, now disowned by father-in-law and mother-in-law, seems to be living alone in a neglected, trash-filled house. It's affecting his work, and now the office gossip goes like this. Heard Robert got dumped by his wife. His shirt's all wrinkled and he hasn't even shaved. And she was pregnant, right? What a loser. He used to be so controlling. My husband is becoming the office joke, losing his standing day by day. I wonder how long his high pride will allow him to endure this environment. Well, it's none of my business anymore. From now on, I want to focus on my unborn child. Even without a father, I intend to shower this child with all the love I have so they can feel truly happy.